Things like this usually don't happen in a community like ours. It's very tragic.
Investigators release autopsy reports today for 8 members of an Ohio family killed execution style.
We begin tonight with a deadline that has passed for the mother of 2 missing children from Rexburg.
Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amanda, and on this channel we talk about all things true crime related. In today's episode, we are going to be discussing the heartbreaking case of Evelyn, Paityn, and Olivia Decker. 3 lives cut too short, betrayed by someone they trusted and loved. But before we get into the details, please don't forget to like and subscribe to this video. Both are free ways that really help me out. And just as a quick reminder, I am not an expert in this case or any of the other cases that we cover on this channel. I'm just someone who researches and shares the cases to spread awareness. If you'd like to support the channel, the best way is to share it with a friend. And I also have a Patreon with some bonus content that I've posted if you want to join me over there. Now, as I mentioned, the little ones at the center of this case are 9-year-old Paityn, 8-year-old Evelyn, and 5-year-old Olivia Decker. This case has been ongoing since the end of May, beginning of June, and it's just been so heartbreaking I wasn't sure I was going to be able to cover it. But with the most recent update, I felt it was important to talk about, and I'd really love to hear your thoughts on what's happening. So this video may be a little different than some of the other ones, but I guess it's not, depending on how you view it. Honestly, I just want to share the details of these cases with you and hear your thoughts. One of the main reasons I came to YouTube in the first place was because no one in my everyday life really follows true crime, unless it's something huge like a headline like Karen Reed or BK. So I love having a space where I can come and tell these stories, and I love to hear your guys' perspective. But I want to share a clip from Paityn, Olivia, and Evelyn's mother where she talks about her girls. The strengths that this woman has, it really blows me away. I honestly don't know if I would be able to carry on if I lost any of my children, let alone the way that she has.
I just have a short something to share. Good evening, and thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. You all look beautiful, and I know that Evie would have loved to ooh and ah over all of your outfits. She would have been amazed by all the color out there and just thought you guys look fantastic. You know that Paityn would have sought each and every one of you out to try to find something to give you a compliment for. She did that for everyone, whether it was in the grocery store or at school or with me, always telling me, "Oh, you look so beautiful, Mom. I love your earrings," or whatever it was that she could find. I wanted to share a means of connection the girls and I had that I think allowed them to have such warm and open hearts to the community around them. After my divorce, there were a lot of feelings flowing through my house. As you could imagine, me going through a divorce with 3 small, tiny women. Some of the feelings were easier to talk about than others. Through the girls' time with Children's Home Society and some incredible therapists, we discovered the 3 feelings. At night, during their bedtime routine, I would ask them what 3 feelings they felt during that day. No feeling too big or too small, and what was going on when they felt those feelings. For Paityn, she always had more than 3, consistently eager to tell me about every minute of her day. She was always interrupting her sisters to make sure I knew every single one. For Ev, we would talk about her feelings one-on-one, right at bedtime, because she wasn't always ready to share them with her sisters. And for Olivia, we were still working on how to describe all of her feelings, but beyond a shadow of a doubt, one was always happy. Even when I tried to avoid telling my feelings, which is so easy to do as an adult, I feel like, the girls, one of them would always say, "Wait, Mom, you didn't tell me what yours were," and make sure that I too would tell them what my 3 feelings were. I'm so thankful for the time that I had with the girls, and how the 3 feelings allowed us to connect when the world slowed down. And it really gave me an inside look into their day. I believe doing this with them allowed them to come into the world with open hearts and kindness. I hope that you are all able to do some version of the 3 feelings with your loved ones. Thank you everyone for being here tonight and the outpouring of love that you have shown me and my family over the past few weeks. I truly hope that the legacy of the girls' lives lives in everyone's heart forever. They were incredible.
Now, to get to the meat and potatoes of this case, I want to read the arrest affidavit out of Washington for the first-degree murder of these 3 girls. It was issued for Travis Decker, 3rd, 2025. On May 30th, 2025, at around 21:34 hours, Whitney D. Decker arrived at the lobby of the WPD to report a civil complaint. She advised patrol that her ex-husband, Travis C. Decker, had failed to return their 3 children at 2000 hours in violation of their agreed-upon and court-ordered parenting plan. Corporal Gonzalez noted Whitney appeared distraught and looked like she had been recently crying. She advised that her and Decker were previously married but had been divorced for several years and have 3 children together. Along with the divorce, the two had a parenting plan in place, with the most current one issued by a judge on September 27, 2024. The current parenting plan limits Decker's visitation to every other weekend with specific hours of Friday from 0500 to 2000 hours, Saturday from 1100 to 1900 hours, and Sunday from 900 hours to 1700 hours. The order also specifies no overnight visits, and the visits will only occur in Wenatchee County. Whitney reported that Decker picked up their daughters from her residence at 1024 Rosewood Ave around the scheduled time of 1700 hours, but did not return them around 2000 hours. She stated she attempted to call Decker multiple times, but his cell phone goes straight to voicemail, which typically means the cell phone is off or out of service. Whitney expressed concern because Decker reportedly has never done this before, and further noted he is currently experiencing some mental health issues. At the time of the initial report, Whitney explained that Decker does not currently have a stable residence and is considered homeless. He is known to have often stayed in motels, hotels, or he camps at local campgrounds, but Whitney did not know where to find him. Corporal Gomez stated he attempted Decker's cell phone number, redacted, but it went straight to voicemail, identifying the cell phone as Decker's. Whitney knows Decker drives a white truck, but is unsure what kind. She noted that he had been recently cited for driving without insurance. Corporal Gomez conducted a record search and identified Decker's truck as a white 2017 GMC Sierra. He was in a collision on May 27, 2025, and was in fact cited for some infractions following the investigation by WPD Patrol. Call notes say there was no damage to the other vehicle when patrol arrived, and the other driver declined and need to follow up. Corporal Gomez checked Decker's vehicle registration through Flock Safety and found the truck last registered by automatic license plate reader northbound on the Wenatchee Bridge at 17:41 hours. He noted that this was likely after Decker picked up his daughters and suspected he may be headed to a hotel or campground in the North End. After contact with Whitney, Corporal Gomez contacted all hotels and motels in the city limits, as well as the Confluence State Park. While at Confluence, he spoke with a park ranger and was able to check the camping roster. Decker was not listed as staying in any campsites. East Wenatchee PD Officer Conley was contacted and asked to check East Wenatchee hotels motels for Decker's vehicle. After a search of the area, Decker's vehicle was not located. Given the circumstances, an attempt to locate was initiated for all Valley agencies to be on the lookout for Decker, his vehicle, and the children. Corporal Gonzalez investigated further and consulted with the Washington State Patrol Missing and Endangered Persons Unit. He provided the facts of the case to screen for an Amber Alert, but based on the fact that there was no current evidence to believe that the children were at risk of serious bodily injury or death, it did not qualify. Whitney was advised of the updates and an inability to locate the children, Decker, or his vehicle. She was advised to call Rivercom immediately if and when she hears from Decker. On May 31st, there was a large social media presence looking for information about the whereabouts of Decker and the children. By the time I saw a social media post, it was clear that Whitney had not been able to contact Decker for over 12 hours, and from WPD's pass down, it was noted that one of the children had an event planned at a local park the morning of that Decker and the children never showed up for. With a continued concern with the lack of communication from Decker, I met with Whitney at her parents' residence in Wenatchee to get further details. Whitney explained that she and Decker were married for about 7 years, but have since been divorced for a few years. She explained the divorce was civil, and initially Decker had housing and was allowed overnight visits. However, when he lost housing, the parenting plan was readdressed to accommodate accordingly. Whitney denied any domestic violence during their relationship, but did mention moments of power or control he used. She provided the examples of randomly leaving or waking her up by screaming in the middle of the night. She also said near the end of the marriage, he was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, which she believes he currently does not take medication for. While married, Whitney and Decker have 3 children in common. She identified them as 9-year-old Paityn, 8-year-old Evelyn, and 5-year-old Olivia. They reportedly have a good relationship with Decker and enjoy their time with him. The overall relationship was reported to be good, and the children enjoyed their time with Decker. Whitney also reported no issues with recent visitations and stated her and Decker are communicative with issues surrounding them and if they will be late for any reason. She reiterated that Decker has never failed to return the kids. The parenting plan provided by Whitney specifies the visitation hours and discuss holidays and birthday considerations. Notable concerns are reasons putting limitations of parenting show Decker has neglected his parental duties and has a long-term emotional or physical problem that gets in the way of his or her ability to parent. This plan also notes details about access to the children and ability to talk with them via cell phone when needed. Whitney said they agreed to the plan, but the signature line states Decker refused to sign. Decker is also supposed to seek mental health treatment and domestic violence anger management counseling under the parenting plan, but he is not. The exchange on Friday occurred without issues. However, Whitney noted Decker was quieter than usual, which was out of character. She mentioned the recent ticket being a financial burden for him, along with the garnishing wages due to back child support. She then added that he has been talking about getting rid of his dog due to housing and further financial concerns. Whitney stated his children and his dog are the two big positives in his life. Whitney also stated when overnight camping trips have been allowed, they have planned it in advance with clear details of plans. The children also leave with a bag of clothing and appropriate attire to spend the night outdoors. When they left home, they had the clothes on their back. As of June 2nd, 2025, at 0900 hours, there was no contact with Decker, and his cell phone continues to go straight to voicemail when called. He has failed to return the children on Friday, May 30th, 2025 at 2000 hours. He failed to return the children on Saturday, May 30th, 2025 at 1900 hours. And he failed to return the children on Sunday, June 1st, 2025 at 1700 hours. Decker then failed to show up to work this morning, and his boss noted some recent mental health conditions. Given that Decker has failed to return the children when directed, and with no open communication with Whitney, it is believed that there is an intent to withhold the children permanently from Whitney. And given that the children left home with no supplies for extended time, it is believed that there is a substantial risk of illness or physical injury. Therefore, there is probable cause to arrest Travis C. Decker for 3 counts of custodial interference in the first degree. On June 2nd, 2025, a warrant for his arrest was requested and later granted. In an active attempt to locate Decker and the children, law enforcement utilized a variety of resources and known tools to include cell phone records and timing advancement, automatic license plate readers, canvassing of the area for security, searches of possible locations in the region, and social media. On Monday, June 2nd, a larger, more intensive search was conducted across the county with the help of CCSO and eventually family, friends, and volunteers as people began to learn of the children's disappearance. At around 15:56 hours on June 2nd, 2025, Decker's vehicle was located unoccupied in the area of Rock Island Campground, Leavenworth, Washington, off Icicle Road with the nearest town, city of Leavenworth. The campground is located in an unincorporated county in the state of Washington. Approximately 75 to 100 yards past where the vehicle was located and down a small embankment, CCSO deputies located the body of 3 school-aged children. Due to the safety concerns and scene preservation, the bodies have yet to be approached, but there were some clear signs of lividity. Each had a plastic bag over their head. Based on the totality of the circumstances, including the proximity to the vehicle, visible attire on the bodies, which is consistent with the clothing the children were wearing, and they're transferred to Decker for visitation, they are presumed to be Paityn, Evelyn, and Olivia. Decker's location is currently unknown, and there is currently a coordinated effort to search the immediate area, if not further, for him, so that the scene would have been searched. Around the vehicle and along the way to where the children were located, deputies located zip ties and plastic bags strewn around the area. The tailgate of the pickup truck also has what appears to be 2 handprints of blood. The truck had personal items to include blankets, car seats, food, miscellaneous items, and a wallet on the center console. Approximate to the search was an abandoned camp, which is located at the nearby proximity with signs of recent activity. The camp consists of a fire pit, tent, and cooler within a short walk from where the vehicle and bodies were located. Cell phone records Decker's cell phone acquired Saturday under urgency show that Decker likely traveled to the area on Thursday, May 29th, 2025 evening and returned to Wenatchee Friday morning. Under the totality of the situation, appears that Decker drove through the area the night prior and returned the next day with the children. Preliminary examination suggests the likely cause of death was asphyxiation. Their wrists were also zip-tied or showed signs of being zip-tied. They were also positively identified as Paityn, Olivia, and Evelyn by the coroner. There is probable cause to arrest Travis Decker for 3 counts of murder in the first degree and 3 counts of kidnapping in the first degree. And then just days after the girls' remains were found, Travis Decker was also charged with another criminal complaint that was filed from the federal government for unlawful flight to avoid prosecution. The U.S. Marshals submitted this complaint alleging that Decker used Google searches on May 26 related to moving from the U.S. to Canada, including phrases like, how does a person move to Canada, jobs in Canada, and even visiting the official Canada.ca website for job postings. The affidavit also notes that the campgrounds where the girls' remains were found was about 11 miles overland from the Pacific Crest Trail. From there, once the arrest warrant was issued, a serious manhunt got underway. The search included more than 100 officials from different state and federal agencies, covering hundreds of mountainous and remote areas by land, water, and air. At one point, Whitney Decker's attorney said her client hopes this tragedy brings changes in the way Amber Alerts are issued and that it shines a light on the mental health struggles of our veterans. She also said that Whitney knows that if Travis was found alive, he would not be able to answer her questions in a way that could truly bring her peace. Now, to the big update on Friday, September 19th, police announced that they had found remains that they believe were in fact Travis Decker's near town in Leavenworth, less than a mile from the remains of where the girls were found. They explained that on Thursday, September 18th, while using drones, they spotted abnormalities on the ground. Detectives were then flown in by helicopter to the wooded, steep terrain where they discovered clothing and human remains, which appeared to have been strewn about by wild animals. Authorities said that they found intact human feet. However, they will not know for sure until the Washington State Crime Lab confirms the identity as that of Travis Decker. Police also noted that they did not find a note or any weapons near the remains, and forensic experts will now try to determine how long this individual died and what was the cause of death. So we'll have to wait and see if the remains are truly Travis Decker's. Police say that it could take a few days for the official results to come back, but it seems like they're really sure that it's him. The question to you guys is this how you expected it to end? Did you personally think that it's better that he was found this way, as in deceased, or would you think that it'd be better that he was found alive? I just want to know your thoughts and feelings on this. For me, I just don't understand why he didn't take his own life at the same campground that he took his daughter's life. I know that's not something that we'll probably ever know the answer to, but I don't understand why he left if he was just, that was going to be his end result. I will say though that I am relieved that he's found. The thought that him living out there free, even if in the wild, but just free in general, was horrific to me. And while I do understand he is struggling with mental illness, that doesn't excuse what he did to those poor girls. But as of right now, that's where this case stands. I'll be sure to keep you guys updated as soon as there's more information. I really wanted to check in and see how you guys were feeling about this. And before I go, I did want to give a special shout out to my first Patreon supporter, Tiffany Asbury. I hope I said your name right. I'm terrible at saying names. Thank you so much for the support on the channel. It really means a lot to me. But until the next video, stay safe out there. The world's an ugly place.